Good day, good day, good day. How are you doing? Welcome to another talk experience in Korea. Now, when I say talk experience, I'm talking is going to be um, everything related to Korea, my entire experience in Korea. This is what I'm talking about. And we have reached the Jochiwon, the end of the Jochiwon journey, which was sad and everything. But before we continue on with this journey, right? Before we continue on with that story, there's one person that I forgot to mention. And this guy, his name is Cody. He was one of the lecturers. He had a long beard, short hair, but he had like a big beard. And I remember the day, like, I woke up to him, I'm like, hey, I asked him a question, like, you've got a beard in South Korea. How does this work? Right? Wait, what? I want a beard. I don't want to be clean shaven in Korea. And he was like, listen, it all depends on your school. They might be cool with it. They might not be. And he told me one thing, you might have to work slightly bit harder to impress your school if you've got a beard, but generally they're cool with beards. And this guy, we're going to come back to Cody in a later episode once I get to my hometown. So it is the next day in Jochiwon. It's our last day in Jochiwon. And there's a somberness obviously hanging in the air. A lot of people made some cool friends there. I made a lot of cool friends there. I could have made more, but I made a lot of cool friends there. And it's a somber day. But I forgot to mention one thing. We had a talent show. So me and a group of people did the whole thing. I spoke to the one New Zealander, and we were like, listen, let's just do the haka. Come on. Welcome the people to the group and do the haka, as a part of the Korean, like, welcome them to Korea and everything. So we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're about 7 people doing the haka from New Zealand. And it was quite fun. I did play the African card with one dude, but like this African American. I'm like, come on, my African brother, we need you. And he's like, don't pull that on me. Don't pull that on me. I'm like, okay, cool. He had an injured leg, so he couldn't do anything. But we got a couple of other cool we got other African brothers coming in, African American brothers coming in, having a lot of fun and everything. It was quite cool. I was my fattest. I'm glad they didn't show that photo because I'm pretty. Wait, did they show? Do I have that photo? Oh, I do have that photo. Oh, balls. Oh, balls, I was fat. Oh, balls, I was fat. But anyway, and we did the haka, and it was surprisingly, we didn't win. It was surprisingly fun. We didn't win the talent competition, but it was quite amazing. There was a couple of people who won. I forgot who won. The people who won will remember who won. And it was quite a fun experience, that whole haka experience and everything. So on the last day, we got together. And we, like, the somber mood and Jochiwon and everything. It's to be expected. It is very expected. And I remember packing my stuff and looking around, and I'm like, I'll never forget Jochiwon, which obviously by these videos, is true. And I'm walking out, and we're all assigned to our separate buses where we go to. It was literally. Wow, how big was our group? Our group wasn't that big. Was it? Hold on, was our group that big? I don't think it was. It was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It was about 18 scholars, as they called us. 18 scholars, roughly 20. Let's go with 20 as a reasonable amount. It was 20 people going to the one province. Now, 20 people on a bus that can sit like 50 people, it's quite cool, And so, one interaction. Jerry, if you watch this, buddy, you don't know how well I tried to hide that. Oh, you don't know how well I tried to hide that. Where's that beautiful face of yours? Yes, Jerry. So we're having our final. I think it was our final breakfast or our final lunch. Yeah, we drove. We drove like right after lunch. We had an earlier lunch the day, I think, and it was like the final lunch together with everybody. A lot of people that I still wanted to continue on talking to or wanted to make friends with, which was unfortunate for me, as I've told you in the previous one. But, it was time for us to move. And just as I was starting to make friends, we had to move. I take a long time to make friends, okay? Let's just put it out there. But, so we are at the, was this taken in, that was taken in a classroom? No, that was taken in at the lunch hall, at the cafeteria. And I was like, okay, cool, Luckily, I didn't make good news. I didn't make a lot of friends, so I didn't have to say goodbye to a lot of people. Didn't, like, some of them I wouldn't, like, meet, or some of them I most likely wouldn't see because it's too many people. And like I said again, I didn't make a lot of friends at the talk. The friends I did make stuck with me. But anyway, so I'm at the cafeteria and I'm looking at everything and I see the people leave and, it's very somber. It's very, man, it's a sad time. And I look over at the friends I made, like, as they're walking out, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to see them again while I'm in Korea. I wonder. And, those questions start popping up and everything. And there's this one guy, Jerry. Man. So I'm sitting there and I'm feeling sadness. And this guy comes up out of the blue. Like, we've interacted a few times in the past, but out of the blue, he's like, hey, Zaffa, let's take a selfie together. And that broke me. This guy that I had almost minimal interactions with during my 30-odd day stay in Jochiwan comes up and is like, let's take a selfie. And he takes the photo, and I'm smiling. And he's like, man, I can't wait to see you again. See you around. I'm like, dude, good luck on your journeys and everything. He turns around, and I start crying. Okay? So I immediately go to the closest bathroom in the cafeteria, and I go wash my face. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. And we get outside, and there's a couple of buses, 5 or 6 buses. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I know who's in my group, but the people that we were in classes with were not specifically the group you were assigned. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, what is it, Jola? Do I need to go to Jola? What bus is Jola? And then this one dude comes up. What was his name? Oh, man, he's in one of these photos. I'm going to find him for you soon. Find him. He should be. Oh, crap, he's not there. But it's a Korean-American dude. Let's see if he's been tagged. Please tell me he's been tagged. No, but it's this. Ah, crap, I can't remember his name. But he was like our coordinator. Our English coordinator. He was giving us info. Crap, I forgot his name. Where? Oh, I hate it. I love him. I want to say Andrew, but it's not Andrew. Is it Andrew? But anyway. Fuck, I love that guy. But he's not here. Anyway. And he like, hey, Zaffa, come over here. This is your bus. And I'm like, they know me. And I get onto the bus and I meet our group. A lot of beautiful people. We've had Gabrielle. We've had Kirsten. We've had Molly. And we've had Daniel. I'm trying to remember. We had Cheryl. I'm trying to remember the names now that I interacted with. Cheryl. Is it Sabrina? No, it's not Sabrina. Is it? It's Jamila. We also had. Is it Jai? He was literally like 20 kilometers away from my hometown, which I found out about a week before he left, before he went back. And I'm like, oh, crap, he was like 20 kilometers away from me. We could have hung out. We've had Daniel, like I said. We've, let's see here. Not a lot of people that there's a couple of scholars that came in last minute. So it was like they were new people, but they weren't really part of the group. that experienced the whole TaLK thing. So we're on this bus and we're driving. I'm thinking, like for me, driving and having motion sickness, everything feels like 4 hours. But this was probably something like an hour or so that we drive towards Jeonju from Jochiwon. And I'm like, guys, and I tell everyone, listen, I've got motion sickness. I'm going to pass the fuck out. Mostly, I wanted to be left alone because I didn't want to talk with people and sort of still being emotional and everything. And we get our snacks on the bus, and the Korean coordinator, or whatever, American Korean coordinator starts talking to us, and he gives us a bit of info. And I'm just looking at him like, yeah, it's cool. I just don't want to talk. And we drive to Jeonju, right? And we get set up in an area across from the Jeonju University. And here's another thing. Another friend that I met worked at Jeonju University. He taught, when he came to Korea, he taught English to Chaemin Suk, or the main guy from, what's it called, Bad Boy? What's it called? What's that movie? I'll get to that movie once I get to that friend. But he taught him English back in the day, like way back in the day. But anyway, so we get here, and we all get assigned our own rooms because we're like 20 kids. And it's this giant building, and I wish I could tell you where it was in Jeonju. The one day I was literally looking at the Jeonju map going, where is this? Where? I know the university is there, and I saw the university, but it wasn't there. But anyway, and we get set up in this like semi-off campus. When I say off campus, literally like 200 meters away from campus building. And we've got 3 days. They want to teach us. No, we didn't go there yet. No, we didn't go there. We didn't go directly to the university. We went somewhere else. We went somewhere else before that. You see, I've jumped ahead. Jongnimsaji Museum. Who's this guy? What's his name? His name isn't here. He doesn't show up. I have no idea where Jongnimsaji Museum is, but Jongrim. Jongrim Saji Panmulgwan. Yeah, Jongmin Museum. It was like a 5-star hotel. We lived in our own freaking places for 3 days. I think, yeah, we lived in our own places for 3 days. And then it's like, cool, we're going to go to the final orientation thing with you all in Jeonju. And at this place, oh, crap, I didn't get that photo. Listen, I'm going to edit this out. Okay, and we're back. So this photo, you're going to see this photo now. We went to this little town, giant hotel, man. You looked at the hotel, and the hotel was in a U shape. And like we were at the top, and they were like one of the architectural designs, and I wish I knew what it was called. They had like, the pillars are, it's wooden pillars, but they're going thinner to the top to give you like a certain impression. It was very cool, and it was a very cool hotel, and we were like relaxed and everything, and I was just like ready to start everything. I was a fat bastard. One of the things at this hotel, now I need to freaking Google the dish. I need to, is it Yuko? Yuko, yeah. So at one stage, we sat down at the hotel, and everybody's there, the entire people. So it's like 20 odd scholars and about 5 or 6, head honchos of Jeonbuk or Jeonju, Jeollabuk-do. And we're like, cool, we're sitting down and eating, and they have this dish of raw meat, yuko, I think that's what it's called, yukwe or something, yuko. Okay, but anyway, they've got this raw meat dish, and I look at it, and I take a bit, and I eat it, and I'm like, oh! And I looked at my table, and I'm like, are you gonna eat it? They're like, no, that's raw meat. I'm like, ah, more for me! And I eat it. And I go over to the next table, and I'm like, Any of you going to eat that dish? I didn't know what's it called at that stage. And and they were like, no, no, no. And some of the Korean people on the other table looks at me and they say something. And the guy, our contact between, like, he's our head guy and he reports to them. So that guy comes to me and he's like, oh, they said you're a real Korean because you're eating that. And I'm like, oh, no, this is just basically raw meat. South Africa, we eat biltong. So this is like the closest, the saltiest thing I could get. And then, like, during that weekend, it was a 3-day trip to this one place where we went to a lot of museums and everything. And this photo over here was taken outside one of the shopping malls there. And yeah, it was quite a lot of fun. I wish I can remember where we went. I don't know if anybody's been on TaLK in my group of TaLK scholars. Could you please, if you want to comment down below, just comment down below where we went for those 3 days. And then afterwards, we're going back to Jeonju, and I'll tell you all about it. This is going to be a long video with edits because I had to look up that photo. This was like literally at the end of, it was at the, that photo that I showed you was taken like on the 25th of February, roughly. And we stayed there until the 28th of February, I think. And then it was worked out that we start on the 1st. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that part too, especially that meat section. And my hotel room looked out over, like, looked straight into a mountain. So that was quite a cool experience. And, you know, I obviously found the smoking area and walked 4 meters and had the smoking area. Damn, I was fat. Holy balls. I was fat. And yeah, that was our little experience thing there. I'm trying to figure out, okay, I might be completely wrong with this. Either we went to that holiday thing. No, we went to the holiday for the weekend for 3 days, or for 2 days. We got there the morning and we stayed 2 nights and we left on the 3rd day after. And then we went to Jeonju to, like, get the last minute stuff hammered into us. And we're going to talk about that in the next episode. Although I've spoken most about it now, but we're going to talk about that in the next episode. And until then, can't wait to see you. And until then, have a good one.